This episode is brought to you by Buzzshot, PG's Playhouse, the Reality Escape Convention, and Patreon supporters like you. Did you know that Reality Escape Pod was born out of a convention? Our own convention, the Reality Escape Convention. The naming similarities? They're not a coincidence. And this year we are hosting the event in person, August 16th and 17th, 2026, in Laval, Quebec, Canada, just outside of Montreal, and right near some of the top escape rooms in the world, Escaparium and Immersia. You can come, play some games, and experience all that this convention has to offer. We have been producing RECON since 2020, and it is an industry-focused event. Our goal is to bring in the finest speakers and start conversations that elevate the escape room and immersive gaming worlds. Everything that RECON is about, it's there to help make sure that escape rooms become more sustainable and more impressive. We believe that this is the industry of the future, and we're here to build it. We're here to be the change we want to see in the world. And you can learn more about that at realityescapecon.com. If this sounds like your kind of thing, book a ticket, come join us. You won't regret it. Welcome to the Reality Escape Pod, your lifeline when you need a getaway from the real world. I'm David Spira, alongside my co-host, PG Law. Together, we're exploring immersive gaming from all angles, and we'll be joined by guests who really know their stuff. Today's guests are Manda Whitney and Errol Elamir, half of the Room Escape Divas podcast. Along with Mike and Ruby Yuan, they were the original Escape Room podcast, producing 148 heartfelt, smart, and chaotic episodes from 2016 through 2022. Beyond the Divas, Manda and Errol have been at the forefront of the immersive puzzle world, creating wonderful and emotional experiences, ranging from a puzzle wedding to an experience on a moving train, the many insane iterations of the Cryptex Hunt, and Errol's notoriously heart-wrenching video game, Present Quest. Welcome to some of my oldest friends in the escape room world, Manda and Errol.
Hello, thank you for having us.
While I have known you both for more than a decade,
Holy moly.
I don't know that I have ever asked how you two met. Manda, how did you get stuck being friends with Errol?
Trapped, some might say. The weird thing is, I actually didn't know Errol that much longer before I knew you, David. Because you say over a decade, I'm like, yeah, I guess that's right. Or maybe I did. I've known Errol a while now, but...
It was before escape rooms. What are you talking about?
It was post-escape rooms, but only by 3 or 4 years, I think, before we got into escape rooms. And then I met Errol through nerd communities. So I first met Errol when he was in a geek band.
Oh, that tracks.
That very much tracks. And I was involved in a geek theater company. And so I saw Errol perform at, I think it was like a fundraising night or something.
I needed someone for my video.
You did. And then after that, you were like, hey, I have a video I'm going to do and the person I was going to do it with isn't available. You do acting things. Do you want to be in this video? And we did this 12 Days of Christmas, but with nerd things instead. And yeah, we instantly had the banter down. I had barely known Errol, but it felt like I knew him for 10 years at that point. He went into full troll mode as well. And it was great fun. That was how we met. I don't know if Errol has a different version of events, but that's how I remember it.
Are you kidding? This is how many years ago was this? This is a long time. I can't remember anything. I'm an old man.
To ask another detail that may have fallen out of your brains, how did you end up meeting Mike and Ruby?
Oh,
You do this one, Errol.
back in the day, there weren't that many blogs out for escape rooms. And so I had an escape room blog, and Mike and Ruby had an escape room blog. And when you start off with escape rooms, you're just so excited and you want to talk to other people that like escape rooms. And the only other people that I know that liked escape rooms were the ones that had blogs. And so I went and contacted all of them.
That's pretty much how I met you.
Did I contact you first?
I can't remember whether you contacted me or I contacted you, but I do remember that the first time we collaborated on anything was in 2015. I had received a question from one of our readers asking if I had any tips on playing escape rooms with children. And you were very loudly playing escape rooms with your children on the internet. So I reached out to you and I was like, hey, you must have some tips. And so you gave me a whole bunch of tips. I wrote it up in an article and it really did help some people.
Cool. Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, so you all met and bonded over your shared love of escape rooms. And then how do you go from that to the four of you creating a podcast together?
From what I remember, we finally had met together. Because I remember Errol saying, I met people who play escape rooms. They have blogs. And we decided, I think, to play an escape room together. We were binging them. And after every escape room, we'd rant about them.
As one does.
And like in the way people are like, we should start a band, right? Like it was kind of like, we should do a podcast. And before you knew it, we were crowded around a dining room table at this one directional tiny Zoom mic. I don't know how we did it, and then we were like, yeah, let's just start a podcast. We'll call it Room Escape Divas. And then that was basically how it started. Yeah. Errol, do you have other things to add to that?
No, I can't remember that either. Yeah, no, it sounds great to me. What a great origin story.
Yeah, basically that. Because we were like, why don't we just share it with the world? Our nerdy rants. Because that's what you do when you start a podcast.
Was that after we did our events or before?
Before.
Oh.
I believe it was before.
I think it was before too.
Yeah.
Cool. You know my history better than I do.
I have to be honest, I just recently refreshed on it. You've done a lot of nonsense, my friend. There's a lot of stuff you've made.
It's true. I can't argue.
What were some of the early motivations?
Oh, I just wanted to talk all the time, I think, and then just like let the world hear it. I have no idea. I think that was, one of the early motivations was because we did have a lot of rants about escape rooms and we did want to air those, but not to shame anybody. Even now, I just want escape rooms to be better and they are getting better. And so that is one of the main reasons that I would go off on these long rants about puzzle design and game design and write pages and pages of stuff to nobody would listen though, so it was sad, but I'd still do it.
There were people listening.
There were some people. I don't know. Well, sometimes I'd write long reports of escape rooms, and then they just sit there, and nobody wanted to read them. But regardless, we did want to talk more about the industry, and there was nobody else doing it. Actually, I think there was at least one, but they didn't post that often. I can't remember what they were called.
Yeah, there was one other escape room podcast, and I think they came out with 2 or 5 episodes. I can't remember.
Yeah, and then they stopped.
Yeah, but like Errol, part of it was, we wanted to rant about the escape rooms we'd just seen, but it was also like, it was exciting. It was a new medium, and whether it was a fad or not, it was fascinating to see what influences there could be, and I was gnashing my teeth at times in the early days when they were like, how do you tell a story in an escape room? It's impossible. And I came from the world of theater, and I'm like, it's not. You just haven't figured it out yet. That's all. Let's talk about that. And those were the kinds of rants that I wanted to do, mostly to talk about those influences and grow the industry and that.
But in the early days, were you guys coming at it purely from a player perspective and not from like a puzzle creator or writing perspective?
No, I think in those days we were doing both perspectives.
Like, we couldn't help ourselves. We were coming at it from a player perspective, but I can't turn the design part of my brain or the writing part of my brain off. So inevitably, I'd want to deep dive into the things I was ranting about.
I always felt that kinship with you guys because you were also coming at it from this equal parts, loving this thing, wanting this thing to be better, and also in your own ways being creatives. And so that's very much the ethos that we've always tried to bring, and that I just always really appreciated hearing that perspective from you. And the rants were fun.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, was it last week, 2 weeks ago, I did an escape room, and oh my goodness, not only did I see a horrible date puzzle with lockout safes, there were 3. Oh, I was so angry again. And the sad thing is that...
Where's the podcast? I can write
now I think when I go abroad to do escape rooms, we always do the best typical ones. And so I'm not used to seeing really, really bad puzzles. But then when I go and visit my sister, and then we just do all the rooms that we can around there, then I get a chance to see Oh my goodness, makes me so angry because like this is what I've been talking about for like 10 years. And it's like, look, please just don't do this. Anyway.
Yeah, I feel you. I still deliberately go and play games like that. And I always find myself thinking like, wow, you're really doing this thing that was like solved 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's brave. Yeah. That's brave.
Yeah.
A hallmark of early Room Escape Divas episodes was comedic parody music about escape rooms. And Errol, you've already mentioned this, but I am curious to hear a little bit about your history with nerdy parody music.
I used to do all sorts of nerdy parody music. As Manda said, I was in a nerd band a long time ago, and that went on for about 6 years.
Debs and Errol?
Yes, Debs and Errol, and we would sing either originals or just parodies of songs, but just to geek themes. And so I parodied a lot of songs. There was a lot of songs. Disney songs are easy to parody, to be honest, and so we did a lot of those.
The most successful of these, at least in terms of performance on YouTube, is Make It So, a parody of Let It Go from Disney's Frozen about Captain Picard and Star Trek.
Yes. The funny thing is, when I first heard the song, I could see how easy it would be to parody. And I'm thinking, oh, we should do this before it goes wild, because then it went wild, because then everybody parodied Let It Go. But I also knew, too, that if I suggested it to my bandmate, she would have just said no, because whatever. There's all sorts of fun dynamics there. Not bad ones, but you know.
Star Trek crossed with Disney. So when Amanda first described it as a geek band, I was like, what does that mean? But now I fully understand what a geek band would be singing about.
Oh, there's some great songs in there you should listen to. Yeah.
Thinking back to the earlier Room Escape Divas episodes when you were regularly making parody music along with the episodes, did you have any favorites from that era?
Oh, so there are a couple that...
Can you remember any of them?
I do remember them. And some of them I did like. I think one of the most favorite ones probably is the one that I did with Bill Sunderland from Escape This Podcast, only because he's a good singer. and then it sounded a bit better than just me making it in 10 minutes, because I had to like spit these things out really fast.
You really shot yourself in the foot with that tradition.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And this is one of the later ones, but we did do from Les Mis, the confrontation.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that I think I took Javert and he took Valjean, and we were people arguing what the solve for a puzzle was. And I tried to configure, if you were Valjean at last, we see each other playing. Anyway, something along that lines. And I was Javert. And I tried to convince him that the answer was 24601. So that's what it was. And he's going back and forth, and we're going, it was it. And because he's Bill and he can sing really well, much better than it was fun.
So Bill, we're trapped, we're tied up in these chains, but over there, I see the answer plain.
Before you say another word, Errol, before we try answers in vain again, listen to me, we should try to think things through. This problem needs some time and discerning eyes. There is none but me who can set us free. As I've explained, this phrase is all we need. If we can discern the secret word, just need to discern.
I just think you're mad. There's the solution, plain and clear. Many times I have explained, it's all from that clue.
Believe of it,
times I have explained.
There is an
Many
answer,
times
but
I
it's not
have
from
explained.
You know nothing, here's advice. Why won't you help out instead?
I told you what I
know
saw.
Nothing
You'll see I'm right.
You would sooner see us dead, but not before I see this
found
room is
what is left but nothing now.
Quit ignoring me, I
wasting
swear.
time.
How will we escape these bars?
Every chance we have to win will be gone. We'll lose this way. You
know
see nothing. It's unfair. We'll be stuck inside this jail. I am trapped in here with you. This is why I hate split room.
I remember my first time coming on, Lisa and I had requested that you do a version of You'll Be Back from Hamilton, which
I was going to mention that one.
was before Hamilton had left New York. So you guys, it wasn't even on your radar yet. It had just hit Broadway. But yeah, I listened to about 3 minutes of that episode, and that was the first time I was on any podcast, and boy, did I not like me in that episode at all.
What didn't you like about it?
For one thing, I didn't know that I needed headphones. I didn't know how to mic anything. Our audio sounds terrible, and I was just a nervous chatterbox.
We were all learning at that time. It's very early days for all of us.
Actually, I like that parody too. That was a fun
too.
one.
It was a great parody.
That was a fun parody.
That was one that, in retrospect, because I hadn't seen Hamilton. I heard my friends talking about it all the time, and then when I finally saw it, I was like, oh, like I liked the parody to start. Now I could really appreciate it, seeing it side by side.
The song was about, it was from the perspective of a game master who owned a really mediocre escape room and was mocking these players and being like, you'll be back when you run out of other games to play in this city.
I liked it.
Yeah.
We talk about that you didn't like the setup that you had, but was that even in the day when all of our setups were just trash?
It was all trash.
I'm sure it was. I was having a very hard time listening to myself in that episode, which is fine because I didn't really want to listen to me, but I really did want to hear the parody song.
You say the price of my room's not a price that you're willing to pay. You cry and you scream and you hurl disagreements to me. I reply, oh, I'm so mad. Remember you signed a release form before you could play. Now you're making me sad. Remember my site is the best for escape planned. You'll be back soon to me. You'll run out of room, just watch and see. You'll be back with others too. You'll remember there's no more to do. I advise when you call, you should be contrite through it all. And if you feel betrayed, I have many willing paying customers who never ever play. Na 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 ya na 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 ya na 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 ya na 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 ya na.
I think I wrote one, and that was like the only one I ever did. And
What? Oh, which one did you do?
I did Back to Black with Baby Winehouse. And,
Oh, right. Yeah.
I didn't sing it because God help me, no, but that was my vain attempt at writing one. And
I'd have to dig it out, but I still have a partial draft for a song that I was writing for you.
Ooh.
That I never finished, which was set to the Simon and Garfunkel song "Sound of Silence."
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
this. You were going to write
Yeah.
something.
But
and,
I just remember I have "Hello Blacklight, My Old Friend." I have to search with you again.
So good.
Hello, Blacklight, my old friend. I've come to search with you again. But our vision is but fleeting, as we're left with pointless seeking. And that vision just keeps circling down the drain. What remains within the glow of black light? In zestless themes I searched alone, Pharaoh's seat of cobbled stone. Neath the many grains of dust and sand, feeling hieroglyphics with my hand. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a laser light that split the night and touched the glow of black light. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 pieces, maybe more. Players looking without searching, players seeking without finding, players noting solves that designers never squared. No one cared. Flickered the glow of black light. Fool, said I, you do not know what this cipher clearly shows. In these symbols I will teach you. See their arms revealed beneath you. Cryptic words beckon silence, listen well. For echoes in the glow of black light, and the players bowed and prayed to the neon god they gazed, and the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the sandstone walls and Pharaoh's halls, and revealed in the glow of black light.
You know, David, I gotta say, this peer pressure escape room company is certainly getting a lot of free attention from us, and that's because they were one of the early adopters of BuzzShot's booking system.
Indeed, I've been to peer pressure. They're great. I visited them in Brighton, and I'm happy to toss a little extra attention their way for being the first in the pool with BuzzShot bookings. They're a good company, and they have done such a beautiful job integrating this tool into their website. It looks great.
One of the things that I thought was really, really fun when I visited their booking page is that they have these add-ons, which BuzzShot has made possible. So now, in addition to booking the escape room, your customers will also have the option to add an add-on to their order. So let's say maybe you're selling merch, maybe you're selling, escape room t-shirts, or in the case of peer pressure, you can pre-order a beer or a cocktail to go with your escape room experience. I was absolutely tickled pink by that offering.
Sign me up for the 6 o'clock gin and tonic. I'd be in for that.
Check out BuzzShot's bookings to add all of these other additional features to your booking page. Maisie Anderson of Salisbury Escape Rooms had this to say: "We've been really pleased with our BuzzShot bookings system. We've seen significant improvements all around, and we've definitely had an increase in bookings since switching." BuzzShot is the secret weapon powering escape room businesses, and they're now offering booking software. BuzzShot is truly a one-stop shop for running your escape room. Their booking system fully integrates with their waiver management software, creating a seamless ecosystem that's both easy for your employees to master while giving your customers the best experience possible. Best of all, it's a flat monthly rate with no booking fees, and they don't take a cut of your ticket sales. Streamline your marketing and grow your escape room business. REPOD listeners get an extended free trial and 20% off your first 3 months with no setup fees or hidden charges. Visit buzzshot.com/REPOD to learn more. We'll have link and details for you in the show notes. Thinking back now, do either of you have any episodes that really changed the way that you thought about escape rooms or puzzles?
I think interviewing Scott Nicholson for the first time, like talking with him, that kind of opened up the academic world of how to think differently about puzzles. Do you know what did change for me? And like part of this was I did a series of podcast things about this event, but when I went to up the game And if it wasn't for the podcast, if it wasn't for me carrying around that little microphone, I probably would not have talked to as many people as I did. And just getting their perspectives and up the game at the time was a big shift for me. It just completely blew my mind about how differently you could approach design, or the innovation that was happening and that kind of thing, and the different brains that were in the room debating and sharing and creating. And I really enjoyed getting all of those perspectives. Yeah.
Up the Game was kind of the escape room conference in Europe. And like in the 2016 through 2019 era, it was the place to be if you wanted to be thinking about how to do this at a high level. That was where you needed to be. On that subject, while Errol thinks about his answer here, Manda, care to share your first moments in Amsterdam experience?
Oh, gosh.
Do you even remember?
I'm getting like flashes, like trauma there. Poor David.
No, not poor me. I was happy to take care of you.
Just such a champ. I remember being really nervous because the one thing, you arrive in Amsterdam and everybody is telling you before I got there, when I got there, the locals are telling me you're going to get pickpocketed. And David was like, just don't look like a dumb tourist. And I'm sitting here with a suitcase staring at my phone, like vainly trying to find a Wi-Fi signal. And I'm like, but I'm a stupid tourist and I'm going to get pickpocketed. And I remember, I needed to get to an escape room in time, right? And there was like no time whatsoever. And I didn't have money or whatever. And I remember you shoved me into a cab practically and just, you gave your MasterCard, I think. I can't remember what it was.
So you had driven up from Breda to Amsterdam with me and Lisa, and I think we had Juliana from the Wild Optimists with us. We had been playing escape rooms all day.
Yes.
We drive into the heart of Amsterdam, we ditch the car, and we're all supposed to go to our hotels, check in, and then go meet for an escape room in like an hour or two.
Yeah.
And you were almost catatonic, like completely unable to function. And so I grabbed you by the little loop on the back of your backpack. I
do remember
I
that.
dragged you to the corner. I hailed a taxi. I put you into the cab. I paid the guy, told him the address of your hotel, and was like, please get her there.
That's right. I needed to get to my Airbnb, and I had not a clue of how I was going to do it in the time that I was allotted. And I was like, I don't speak the language. They all speak English, flawless English in Amsterdam. Like, it should not have been a problem.
It's easier to get around Amsterdam in English than it is to get around Quebec in English.
Yes. And if you try to speak Dutch, they will like, stop it. Just stop. We're gonna just... and yeah, I remember that. I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to do. Where's my hotel? How am I going to get there? And yeah, you just...
Then you got it
saved me.
together. You showed up at the game and you were fine from that point
I
forward.
just needed a moment. And I needed David's credit card for the cab, apparently.
I had your back.
We all need David's credit card. What? I didn't know that was up for offer all the time. That's amazing.
Traveling is overwhelming, especially when it's solo.
Yes.
And because that was her first.
That was my first international trip that wasn't the U.S. I'd been on a plane once before in my life. I'd never been to Europe. I'd never been to a country where English wasn't the first language. I'd never been somewhere, like, it was a bit of a culture shock. It was an impulsive decision that I had made, and I was really glad I made it. But yeah, there was definitely a, oh God, what am I going to do now that I'm here?
It was fun traveling with you.
Yeah.
Errol, did you have an episode that left an impact on the way you were perceiving escape rooms?
I was just so excited to find more and more people to talk to about different facets of the escape room industry that I didn't even think about. So I was always learning. But the funny thing, I was sitting here thinking in regards to puzzle design, I can't remember if there were a lot of puzzle design people that I talked to Egner and some people from the puzzle hunt community, but not a lot. And it's a lot of people in the escape room industry don't really focus that much on it anyway. So maybe we had lots and I just completely forgot.
That's a very good possibility. We had a few puzzle designers on there, I think.
You know, I didn't say we didn't have any. I'm just trying to remember those.
It's really hard to find people who can articulate cohesive thoughts about how to advance the art of puzzle design who aren't like full on in super challenging puzzle hunt land.
Yes.
It's very difficult to find those people. I can tell you from programming RECON for all of these years, most of the talks that we have had on puzzle design specifically have been you, my friend.
I'm here for you.
One of the things I think about all the time is from Errol's talk, which is, your puzzles are too hard. I say this to myself all the time.
I say it to me, to be honest, because it will always, no matter what you do, it will be too hard.
It will always be too hard if Errol is designing it.
Now, I still make my puzzles way easier. If it's for the escape room mainstream audience, I will make my puzzles way easier. And even then, it's like, oh, come on, this is hard too. Even now. So it is fun and challenging.
Thinking back to the days of the Room Escape Divas, I think that the most criticized part of the Divas, certainly the thing that I, as your friend, got the most emails about from strangers,
I know
dear.
where this is
was
going.
the trollish relationship that the two of you had, really specifically that Errol
Yes.
had towards Manda.
Yes.
I am curious, what are your thoughts and feels on all of that looking back?
So the thing is that I troll Manda the half amount that I troll my sister.
His sister gets a verbal laceration from him every day, I think.
I trolled my sister an awful lot, but she doesn't care.
It's your love language. Is this an Asian thing? Because this is my family's love language, is just roasting each other into oblivion.
She is the ultimate Errol survivalist. She has never known a moment without Errol in her life because she's the younger one. So
And I think I got it from my dad because my dad likes to troll, but he's much quieter. He just trolled all of us.
I think that I troll David more than he trolls me, but maybe it helps because I'm a female trolling a guy.
yeah.
So the perceived power dynamics feel different.
I'm very, very aware of not making fun of people so much in the escape room world because I'm at a point where people take it way too seriously, and I really don't want to hurt people.
No, very true. I agree.
Yeah.
That's why you got to punch up. I got to punch up. That's why I can troll David, but I can't troll anyone else.
Yeah, I could take it. I mean, look, whatever you're giving me is way kinder than whatever my brother has given me my whole life. So it's funny because somebody recently told me, he was like, oh, room escape artist, your tagline is well-researched, rational, and reasonably humorous. And I don't get the reasonably humorous in your reviews anymore. And I'm like, yeah, we've dropped a lot of that from the reviews because people take it really seriously. Like, we've got to be very delicate about where we put jokes into reviews.
They're still funny.
Yes, it's
I think
true.
they're still funny.
We try, but it's not anywhere near as savage as some of the
Yeah.
early days.
Yeah.
And just to give my perspective on it too, it was a very good lesson for me because, yeah, that's Errol and mine's dynamic. How we are in real life became much more savage than what appeared on the podcast. And I think I remember the joke in particular. Errol was trolling me about dating life. And that's just what I'm used to. And I tend to collect friends. My bestest of friends are always ones who torture me psychologically. And I guess that's the kind of person I am. The great thing about Errol is that despite appearances, Errol is really good at assessing people's tolerance levels. And if he senses that he's gone either too far or this person really isn't great with being trolled, he will stop. He won't do it anymore. But if you display any sort of tolerance, he just keeps pushing up the level to see what the ceiling is. And mine happens to be pretty high, despite the fact that I react the way I do. I know he's not actually serious about it most of the time. Sometimes, like, the anxiety takes over, and I'm like, oh, do you actually think I'm man hungry? And then he's like, what? And, like, but then... Yeah, but that episode in particular, he had teased me about dating, and we got an email about it after. And at first, I was going to respond to it and say, like, no, it's not like that at all. I don't mind. I don't care. Why can't a man tease a woman? And I'm like, no. And Errol said, no, she's right. How we appear in public it's going to be perceived very differently, especially when you don't have facial reactions. They just had our vocal reactions. And it wasn't a great joke either. So looking back on it now, I'm like, yeah, it does come across as a guy steamrolling over another woman. And so we kind of dialed it back after that. Still definitely trolling, still high trolling energy, but we were very selective in how we were perceived.
Yeah, I think it's better when I do my talks and I troll the whole audience.
Yes.
there isn't a person there that I'm trolling.
Or troll yourself. You troll yourself very well as well.
I remember sending you guys a message and being like, hey, I've got a very concerned person in the Room Escape Artist email inbox being like, checking in on that girl Man Pants and making sure that she's okay.
And you know what? I do appreciate that people were like, are you okay? And it's like,
blink twice if you need help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, trust me, they're fine. On a somewhat related topic, I am curious what changes within the escape room industry you felt most profoundly over the course of those years of creating the Room Escape Divas.
Oh, I think there's many changes, to be honest. But then again, I say that there are many changes, but I think it's because we see the best of the best now, and we don't look at the worst, except sometimes I do. And then I'll see, oh my goodness, this is horrible.
It's like everything's changed and nothing's changed all at the same time.
Yeah.
That's very real.
Yeah, the different branches of escape rooms that people are exploring, I really enjoy. If they branch out into different types of immersive experience, I find those fun to explore. Not a lot of those were around, and some people are trying different things. I always get excited when I find new things people are trying, even if it doesn't work. It's like, oh, that's cool.
I always say I want to play great games and I want to play interesting games, even if they're flawed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm into.
I think what I like seeing now that's changed is, like some of the innovation that's going on. Just the fact that people are willing to try things, even if it doesn't work entirely. And for that reason, sometimes like, when there's a review or something, it's like, did they hate it? Did they like it? And at the same time, like, I can always appreciate when something new is being tried, because it means that maybe that method will be improved upon. You can't get any progress without mistakes being made first, and that's so important.
The early escape room community, the community that I fell in love with, was really born out of an escape room Slack that Errol created. Errol started so much of what the escape room community has grown into, and that is a spirit that we continue to carry on in our own Discord community.
I cannot tell you how grateful I am to have found you, David, and to have found this community that you, the listeners, can be a part of when you join our Patreon. You get access to our Discord, where there is a ton of chatter about escape rooms. We're telling jokes in there. People are sharing industry news. There's a lot of people that are in the industry themselves. So if you love escape rooms and you kind of want to get a little inside baseball, see how the sausage is made, a lot of discussions are taking place there where owners, creators of really incredible escape rooms are coming in there and they're chatting about where the future of the industry is headed. And it's a really great place to join in on those conversations.
It's really cool when you see a creator asking a random question and then a year later, you show up at their company and you play a game and you realize that they were chatting with our Patreon community and making decisions about the product that they were producing. It's really cool. And you can join in on all of the fun and conversation at any of the tiers. You can learn more at patreon.com/roomescapeartist. And to incentivize you to join and see what we're all about, we decided to do a 70% REPOD discount for season 11.
We've got discounts!
Indeed we do. Use the code MOREREPOD, that's MOREREPOD, at checkout to get 70% off your first month at the bonus show level. Comes out to like $1.50.
70%?
I know.
You're basically losing money if you don't sign up.
Come see what we're all about. This is valid for season 11 through the end of June 2026. Come join our community, join in the conversation, or just lurk. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Either way, come join in on the fun. Hope to see you there. Let's shift gears and explore some of your many elaborate puzzle and experiential creations, starting with Canadian Caper.
Oh boy.
What madness was this? Help me understand what you made, because I never got to do these and I still regret it.
So much like the podcast, it came about when we played an escape room we hated.
It was one of Scrap's ballroom games.
It was one of the first ones, and it wasn't that we hated it. It was just more like it didn't grab us in the way we had hoped. If you've played one of Scrap's large-scale games, it's made for 80 to 100 people. You go in, and it was like you had people walking around in costumes. You had like a couple of set pieces set up. It looked very exciting, and then what it amounted to was sitting at a table doing paper puzzles for most of the time, and maybe going over to a couple of the set pieces to look at something. But otherwise, it wasn't that involved. And it wasn't that we were disappointed. It was just sort of like, it could have been more.
I was disappointed. What do you mean? We were all disappointed. What are you talking about?
I'm trying to be kind. Okay,
Look,
yes, fine.
Room Escape Artist exists because I played a Scrap ballroom game and hated it. So the amount of stuff that exists because of contempt is real.
Okay, then. Fine, yes. We were underwhelmed.
I'm also still a Scrap apologist, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we were at a restaurant after, just ranting about this. And again, it was one of those, we should start a band moments, because one of the things we considered was like, okay, but it's large scale. Escape rooms have a lot of tech, a lot of wow moments. Like when you can't have that, when you can't have 80 people experiencing the big wow moment at the same time, how do you make up for that? And a couple of us were like, we have theater, right? Like you have actors, you have narrative, you have story. You can do other types of things with different resources. And then that was we should start a band moment, and we were like, we should do one of our own.
Now, to be fair, it wasn't us pushing it. I was thinking, yeah, we could probably do something better, but I had no
time or
I wasn't thinking that I was going to do this, but one of the guys, his name is Will, he also had a blog as well. So as I said, we got to know all the different people that had blogs, and he was so gung-ho on actually doing this. And I think we all just said, okay, why not?
Yeah, Will's very persuasive.
So the first one was Night at the Speakeasy, but we do have the Night at the Wedding, and then a third one was on the train. So the one that we did for Scrap was the bank heist one, if anybody remembered doing it. And it made no sense to me, because we were all in this room and there was a vault, and so we were supposed to rob the bank, but it didn't make sense. Why are 60 people in the same bank robbing it? I don't understand. That doesn't make sense to me.
You're not customers in the bank. You're just there to rob the bank. You're all here to rob the bank.
You're all there to rob the bank. But then there would be puzzles like, this is the floor plan of the bank, and then these are the different people, and they're going to be guards here. And then you're going to just try to break in. It's like, I don't understand now. We have this virtual bank that we're pretending to be in to solve. I probably went in with different expectations. Maybe it'd be more of an immersive event if you had all these people in costume and you're supposed to rob a bank. But I thought to myself, if there are going to be a lot of people, what are venues and what are reasons why there would be a lot of people, and why would you have puzzles? And so I thought to myself, the first one we did was a speakeasy. And in order to get into a speakeasy, you need a password, right? Then what if you up the game in order to get to different parts of the speakeasy? You had to solve puzzles to get into different parts. So you're all together at a pretend dinner, sadly. And then in order to get into the bar, you need to figure out the puzzles to get into the bar. And then finally, you need to figure out the puzzles to get into the gambling thing. Anyway, I wanted it to be more of an immersive event. And the same thing, you had all these actors around that were only hint givers. I wanted to have more interaction. And I wanted to be more like an adventure game. When you interacted with a NPC in an adventure game, there are puzzles that you can be involved with when you have an NPC. And so I wanted that in the game as well. That's what I was looking for. I wanted to have something closer to being like those old school adventure games, which an escape room is, the very first iterations of them when they were Flash, right?
I think at some point I would like to do a spoilers club with you guys on the train.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
But like, what's the pitch? What's the quick version of what you did on a moving train? Which, as I pose that question, sounds way more naughty than it is.
The elevator pitch of it is that you are a group of people who has been hired to steal an artifact from a train. It's an old vintage train owned by this, we'll call him a 1%er. And your goal is to basically infiltrate, find the secrets of this train. Your treasure hunter is Nathan Drake. You are Nathan Drake from Uncharted. And you are there to find this artifact that has been hidden away that could unlock The Secrets of Life, I believe, or something like that. Am I wrong, Errol?
I can't remember why they were trying to do what they were doing.
I wrote the narrative, damn it, or I helped.
Yes,
I
you
helped.
wrote the
That was
narrative, so
me.
you know it better.
So it's like a puzzle adventure game for a large group of people that takes place on a moving train. You're going from one city to the next. And how long?
And dinner and alcohol.
Whoa.
Dinner and alcohol.
Sold.
Alcohol being a very different kind of thing we had to deal with. Yeah, so basically, the game was driven up into 3 parts. First is the station part. That was where everybody was arriving. There were puzzles in the station to solve while everybody was milling around, getting to know the mechanics of the game, getting to know the characters in the game. Then the train was actually boarded. That became the dinner portion. People mostly ate, but also solved more puzzles and everything. And Errol had a crazy amount of difficult times figuring out how to get 80 people moving through a train without bottlenecking like crazy. And we basically had to start at either end of the train with 2 big groups of people who would slowly move toward the center. So it went from the dining car, then to the bar car where people could mill about, and then the center car was where the final scene would take place, and we could fit a certain number of teams and people in there. And Errol is a great designer who banks on the fact that some people are going to solve it really quickly, and then you have the mass of regular solvers, and then you're basically banking on the fact that some people are going to take longer, and we're fine with that because we don't want everyone solving at once.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to cover this in the Spoilers Club. It's right up my alley. I wish you would bring this back. But I'd like to move on and talk about the online puzzle hunt that you were helming for years, Errol, the Cryptex Hunt. This is the first time I had heard your name. Can you tell us what is this event and how did it come about?
So the Cryptex Hunt was a yearly thing. I hoped it started up again in 90, what year are we in? 27?
90 what?
Oh my, in the late 1900s.
Back in the aughts.
I don't know what year I'm in, but in 2027, I hope.
Stay with us, old man. I got you.
Actually, I wanted to run a puzzle hunt. I ran a couple, and they were silly little puzzle hunts that I made for my band, to be honest. It was for my geek band. I put out a little puzzle hunt, and I didn't expect anybody to play it, except for, the 7 people that saw my webcomic on about my geek band. But all of a sudden, people started to play it, and I was shocked because that was the first time I learned about the puzzle hunt community. I think I was tired from doing all these real-life, in-person escape room events with lots of people because it takes a crazy amount of work. It's just so many moving parts, so many. It just takes so much time. Not that writing a puzzle hunt doesn't.
So you were tired of the complexity, and so you decided to create a puzzle hunt inside of a multi-user dungeon.
Yes, but at least it was just me working on it.
There was no one else to disappoint me. That's kind of what it sounds like.
It's not that I'm worried about people disappointing me. It's just like there are so many people that you have to.
Yeah, managing people is tough. Believe me, I know.
Yeah, I know you all know. It's hard. It's so hard. And so I just wanted something I could work on. And so that's why I did the Cryptex Hunt. And then for some reason, can't even remember why, Justin of Cryptex.
So Justin Nevins.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking to him because Justin loves to talk to people. And I was talking to him for some reason. And he says, I want to do a puzzle hunt and then give one of my Cryptexes as a prize. And I said, oh, okay, I'll write it for you. And then that's probably how it started. And then that's when we built that thing way back in 2018.
Can you explain what a multi-user dungeon or a MUD is and how you used it in the first Cryptex Hunt?
So I should have known that nobody would have known what that thing was.
I spent a lot of time explaining to people what this was in the weeks leading up to it.
So you can think of it like just an MMO or something like, World of Warcraft. Everybody knows what that is, except everything's just in text.
It just looks like a game in DOS.
Yeah. And so you just type in go north. So it's like those old text games, except there are probably 400 other people playing that at the same time. And so you might have Manda enters from the east, David enters from the north, PG enters from the west, PG does something, PG leaves. And so all of this is just nonstop.
It was a nightmare. I hated it at first. I hated it.
I loved this game so much.
I grew to love it, but the interface, I was just like, it just
The
keeps
interface
going.
was intimidating, especially for people who had never done anything like this before.
Yeah, because you had to telnet somewhere.
Yep.
Are any of the old Cryptex puzzle hunts available to play?
Yeah.
So the mud, I don't know if that thing's available. I've never tried to log on to it, but I didn't stop it, but it's probably broken.
I know that, so within it, there was a room escape artist puzzle that Darren Miller had made. And I believe he made an archived version of that somewhere, but it might have broken. I'll look into it. If it's still available, we'll link to it in the show notes. At bare minimum, you could play one puzzle that comes with the hint that it's a room escape artist puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
I know that at least the year that we did the video game jam, that's still available. itch.io, it's all on itch.io, and it's all still available.
And the magazine might be hard because all of that was done on Richard Bragg's, what is that thing called?
Clue Keeper.
Clue Keeper is all done on Richard Bragg's Clue Keeper, and that would be hard to probably get answers for or to submit your answers, but all the hints are there. So yeah, I think they are relatively available.
So you made a multi-user dungeon, a magazine. I think you wrote a puzzle novel one year, and I think you made a video game. Did I miss any of the major themes that you did?
I don't think so. Oh, then we did the Puzzles Hidden in Puzzles one.
I forgot about that one.
That one was fun too. I did the book one, and I was just blown away by the creativity, Errol. That one was amazing.
That was incredibly
That was crazy.
hard. I was thinking, oh, why don't I do this? And then I thought, wow, this is really hard.
Errol wrote a whole ass novel. He wrote an entire book that you could read that had puzzles embedded into it. And the secret was you had to actually print it out because you had to manipulate the pages in certain ways for some of the puzzles, which I didn't realize because I was trying to do it all on a screen.
Yeah, sorry. I thought they could, and I was wrong. So I guess the whole concept of the Cryptex Hunt are puzzles hidden in something. And instead of calling it an actual puzzle hunt, because I think people who like puzzle hunts like to know where the puzzles are, which would make sense, right? It is a different thing because, you get the puzzles, you know what they are, you solve them, you make spreadsheets, and you know where to go. But sadly, in mine, I kind of make them closer to being like ARGs in a medium, and you have to slowly discover them or hopefully figure out where they are.
Well, that's half of the fun. So, Errol, what was the hardest Cryptex Hunt to construct?
It would be the video games, to be honest. Because there were 12 of them. And I did graphics for at least 10 of those, then programming for a lot of them as well. And there were 12 of them. It just took me a long time. I was really tired after that one. That one was ridiculous.
Looking back, is there one that you're most proud of?
So there's one puzzle that I really enjoyed, and it was in the mud. And it was the 3D cryptic crossword.
Oh, I hate that one.
I hated that so much.
It made people so angry.
I'm happy you're happy, Errol, but what the hell, man?
Errol, your puzzles are too hard.
Hey, that was too hard. I do agree.
We'll talk about the puzzle difficulty in the bonus show, especially from that first one. I have a funny story from that.
Oh,
Hey kid, you like some puzzles? We got some puzzles over on PG's Playhouse, our podcast celebrating wordplay, brain teasers, and trivia, all with some pod friends.
In episode 28, Adal Rafai from the Hey Riddle Riddle podcast joins us to talk about the Power Glove. Our game was called Power Glove Box, where each answer will be two phrases that share a common word, and every answer will also contain a video game term. So the clue is, in this RPG game, you must explore a roguelike labyrinth filled with monsters, traps, and treasure that's under someone's home. Stick around to the end of the segment for the reveal.
The Power Glove was the holy grail of video gaming for kids in the 80s, but its real superpower was enraging kids and parents alike because of how mediocre it was. It looked cool. It really wasn't. Join us in exploring the history behind the iconic Power Glove.
Pew, pew, pew. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can just search for PG's Playhouse or click the link in our show notes. Did you get the answer to, in this RPG game, you must explore a roguelike labyrinth filled with monsters, traps, and treasure that's under someone's home? It's Dungeon Crawl Space, a mashup of Dungeon Crawl and Crawl Space. Join us on PG's Playhouse to test your knowledge of video gamer terms.
I have to ask you, Errol, about Present Quest. Your visual novel, life simulator, mini escape room, Christmas adventure. It's a free video game that you released in 2020, and it remains available via web browser for free.
Mm-hmm.
I want to avoid spoilers, but from my perspective, this game came out of nowhere and sucker punched the whole escape room community in the feels. Wow. Again, without giving much away, can you give me any context about where this came from? Because I was completely blindsided by this.
I got it without content warnings, so.
I didn't read the content warnings because at the time I thought content warnings were for weak people. And then I found out that they are actually a useful tool. And this game convinced me of that.
Let me tell you that this morning, David messaged me. He goes, PG, did you ever play Errol's game, Present Quest? And I said, yes, I was emotionally destroyed. He made me feel things. What a monster.
I video recorded mine because it was a test. It was like a beta test version. So there's a video of me losing my shit at Errol at the end because I am trying not to bawl my eyes out. Yep.
I made that because I wanted to learn how to use Adventuron at the time. I realized I wanted the next Cryptex Hunt to be like video games, old-fashioned 8-bit graphic text games. And I needed to learn how the thing worked. And so I thought, I'll make a game. That's what I'm going to do. And then, I'll submit it because, it was for a fun contest. Because this was an adventure game, let's try and do some narrative. Let's try to have reasons why there would be puzzles. Let's try to have characters that you want to interact with. These are all the same things I've always wanted to do in different parts of my games. I liked being immersed into a game. And then I just thought of what are different plots that I could do? How can I not trick people?
How can I emotionally eviscerate everyone who does this?
How could I have a plot twist, but not a real plot twist? Because I was just remembering back to some shows that I thought would be really neat to, I wonder if I could explore that. Except now you're the actual person, except you don't realize these things are happening.
Errol had been watching a lot of K-dramas, or still does.
So this wasn't coming from like a personal experience in your family or anything like that?
No.
Oh my God, man.
No, he's just...
He's just a sadist.
To be honest, I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it to make that much of an impact.
It was a work of art.
Thank you.
That's all I'll say. If you haven't played Present Quest, there's a link in the show notes. You really must play Present Quest, but please don't play it if the content warnings are suggesting to you that you shouldn't play it. Because listen to the content warnings. Mm-hmm. I've never had more people send me messages being like, oh, I should have read the content warnings and heeded them than with this game. Okay, I have a lightning round. A collection of questions that we're going to do short-ish answers to. So we're just going to bounce between the two of you.
All right, Manda, over the years, you morphed into the narrative design diva. What are your current thoughts and feels on narrative design in escape rooms?
I think they're going very interesting places. I'm enjoying seeing the shift in like how can we tell a story. I still think that there's a lot of work that could be done. I think the amount of I want to tell a story and escape room is the medium to do it isn't quite there, but I'm still loving seeing that become more of a focus in games. And that's what people latch onto is like the experience of it and how they feel during an escape room.
Errol, you've become the puzzle diva. Having given a few spectacular recon talks on the subject, I am curious, do you have any new opinions on puzzle design that you'd like to share?
Oh my goodness. New thoughts. Not really.
My questions are too hard.
It's funny because all the old thoughts still keep coming up that people don't seem to know. I mean, one of the things I want to do is I eventually wanted to talk more about advanced puzzle design, but I never got around to it because there were so many people that still wanted to talk about the beginner puzzle design. Oh my goodness, puzzles are too hard.
I'll toss one in. Just make whatever it is you're making bigger. Just make it bigger.
Oh, yes.
Scale up. No one's ever been upset at playing something that's oversized.
Yes, no, that is true. But also, I talked about this with Brett too. Brett Keener, just making whimsical and fun. There's not a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. Not enough. Never enough.
No.
Right? There can be more of that. And a lot of people are, I don't know. It's just like when I find whimsical and fun escape room games, because they all tend to be like, oh, so serious, break into this again, or it's horror. But sometimes the delightful puzzles are amazing.
Or even just themes.
So maybe that could be something new. Try to find the delight in a puzzle. But that would be hard.
We've seen it.
It's doable.
It is doable. Oh, I've played many of them, but it is hard to just create out of nothing.
Mm-hmm. Manda, you pivoted careers from being a bookkeeper to a certified fraud examiner and gave an iconic RECON talk on the subject. You did such a beautiful job of bringing energy and love into this subject that would otherwise, to I think most people, feel dry. How's your career treating you?
It is treating me well. I'm currently studying for a giant exam to become certified as an anti-money laundering specialist officially. So that's taking up a lot of my life at the moment. But it's amazing, actually. I don't regret the career pivot at all. It is a way for me to practically help out the world a little bit. There's a lot of crime going on in it. And if you follow the money, you'll often find out where it originates from. And further to that, though, it's weird how much narrative design, acting, those kinds of creative sides of me do actually factor into this job. Knowing how to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, knowing how to think from their perspective, thinking about the narrative of how something might have happened just by looking at numbers and then extrapolating from that. And it's funny, the number of new investigators that come in where I have to not teach them, but remind them. They're like, why would someone do this? I'm like, think about it from their perspective, right? Their back is against the wall. There's comments on their profile that says they were bankrupt. Like, of course, they might go this route or whatever. It's a very simplified one, but it's very important to embrace both the logical and the creative in your career however you can. And this has been a great move for me.
Like solving a murder mystery.
It really is. My friends, when I first passed the first exam, they were like, can we just call you Manda Whitney, Money Detective? And I'm like, yes, let's write that show. Yeah.
Errol, do you still take your shoes off when playing escape rooms?
You haven't seen my latest photos? Yes, yes, I do.
Manda is shaking her head yes vigorously.
Oh, yeah. He was really sad in Barcelona because a lot of the Barcelona rooms were not conducive to taking your shoes off.
No joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of mud and dirt in Barcelona in all the best ways possible.
And some of the worst.
And some of the worst. Yeah.
Okay, so this one is for both of you guys. What are your hot takes on the state of escape rooms in 2026?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
Hot takes. Oh, I have lots of hot takes. Yeah, anyway, go ahead, man pants.
Okay, I have a hot take. Here we go. My hot take is that, yes, there's some great, amazing, huge spectacle games out there, and I love playing them, and I love experiencing them, and yes, they are important. But I think that we shouldn't lose sight of the magic of smaller moments. And I think the ones that really illustrated that to me in the last year that I've played is first RECON LA doing the 49 boxes. That was one of those moments where it's like, you don't have to have a huge, insane amount of tech to have a joyful moment in a room. And it was reflective too. It reminded me when we did our experiences, it was about those smaller, exciting moments. And then when we went to Barcelona, this room is closed now, which is very sad for me, but we got to play it, which was very happy. So it was called Josep Fontcalda House Museum, and we did it at the very end of our trip. I was tired. Errol will tell you, I get real cranky when I have to play more than 6 rooms in a day, and I get stressed about the time in between, and we were at the very end of our trip. This was one we had tacked on. It was going to take an hour to drive there by taxi. We were paying a lot to get out there. I was tired. I was hungry. I was like, I'm done. I love this trip, but I'm done. And we played this room, and like I found the joy of escape rooms again in that one room. It wasn't even like it was all mechanical or something. No, but it was such a great little piece of magic. I want to see more of that in escape rooms. And as much as I love the big spectacle ones too, I think we shouldn't lose sight of what does bring us joy when we're solving those puzzles, when we're talking with actors, when we're just even handling a little box that we get to open that we have just unlocked. So yeah, that's my hot take.
Hard agree. Errol, what about you? Any hot takes?
So I do agree that set is something, and having a great set will make it Terpica bait, that's for sure. But if that's the only thing you have, that doesn't mean the game is any good. It kind of like bothers me sometimes. I played a lot of the Terpica games, and I could tell, this is going to be good. But I can also tell, but this isn't a well-designed game. And so just because it's a great set doesn't mean it's a well-designed game, but it could be. And again, that's why I rant about the things that I do, because I can see where it can go. I can see you just have to do some minor things, but I can understand that, an escape room owner has a lot of things on their mind that they have to worry about, especially if the set is huge and there's a lot of tech you have to worry about. This is a lot of things to keep track of, and it's really expensive. And sometimes some of the minor details, like good game flow, people forget about. And it's like, but RECON has so many talks on what makes a great game. And sometimes I just wish people would listen to it more, or at least, put as much effort into making that, as opposed to like, okay, just make the set bigger.
I feel you. I feel you so much. PG, what's your hot take?
So, okay, this is not a new hot take from me, but I think escape rooms need to be more transparent about their marketing and about what you can expect from it. So you guys are so great at making great sets. When I'm looking for rooms on Morty or whatever, put an actual photo of your set, please, or up close of a prop, something so that I can get a sense of what it looks like. I guess that's my hot take. It's not new, and I've certainly been feeling this way for a while, but I still feel this way for a reason, because a lot of companies out there still have crappy, horrible AI images when they're trying to promote their games.
I'll second that.
David, you think you're getting out of this, David?
No, I don't. My hot take is we need more inexpensive entry-level games that still are special and maybe aren't as big. I really worry about escape rooms becoming a thing that only people who have abundant money can do. And I really worry about the ever-increasing cost associated with these ever larger games. I think we need more games that are small, but still have something special going on.
Agreed.
What comes next for you guys?
What comes next? I had a lot of fun a couple of years ago doing work for what became Sherlock's Vandermeer dossier and Medusa report. And I would really love to do more take-home escape rooms. So I have one in mind that I hope to do. I've got my anti-money laundering stuff. I got back into acting. I'm into voice acting now, and I've done one project already on that, and I'm doing community theater, and that just ate up time. Time is hard. I would love to do an audio drama or another podcast of some sort. All of those are just in my mind right now, but there are some concrete steps towards completion finally.
Errol, how about you?
I still work with Kelly and Brian at Drosselmeyer. Every year I help out with that. And I'm trying to remember if I'm under any NDAs.
You probably are.
I probably am. You read the contract, man. I'm not so.
Oh, now you're outing me.
You read it more than I did, it seemed, even though it was for me.
Oh, I had to witness it. That's why I had to witness it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, so I'm working for something over the summer, but it's just going to be here in Toronto. And I am also slowly working on the next Cryptex Hunt. So I know it's been about a year or something that hasn't any, but as I said, it was tiring. But I usually either do something very complicated or I do something more mainstream where it's for the...
You do something really complicated or something more complicated?
No, it's like, the things that, like, for example, like when I create any puzzles for Drosselmeyer, I know that who the audience is. And so I don't go too wild, except for Maybe one of the puzzles I did, which were the 4 pages that you had to search through. Sorry about that. But I usually try not to go too wild. But when I do something like the Cryptex Hunt, then it becomes more complex. But I like the complex. And so I either focus on complex or I focus on something more mainstream. But this year I'm doing both. And so I think, oh, that's probably not something I should be doing. But oh, well.
If you were sorry, you wouldn't do it.
No, never change, Errol. I'm looking forward to the next Cryptex Hunt.
Yep.
If people do want to follow along with your adventures and see what you're getting up to, what's the best way to contact you or to follow your work?
You know what? I'm not on social media that much anymore, to be honest. If people want to find me, you can just go to the escape room Discord. I'm there. I'm always there. But I used to be on social media all the time. David knows, right?
Same. I used to be on social media all the time, and now I'm not either.
And it's not like I'm against it. I just don't have time to go on it anymore.
I don't have time, and I also can't spare the sanity points.
I have a blog I never update, but I'm hoping to update it again soon. I always update it when I travel. AmandaWhitney.com. I'm also on Instagram. I think it's just manpans21 right now. Hopefully Instagram won't ban me again for whatever reason. I'm on Blue Sky as well. I think it's just manpans on Blue Sky.
So popular.
That's not popular. That's just being on social media.
You know, what I will say is that the one of the things I started up again is my webcomic, which is just a comic about my life. And the reason I'm bringing it up now, because like your audience shouldn't care about this, but I think one of the most faithful readers found it from your community, David.
I almost dropped an F-bomb right there.
I only have 7 readers of that webcomic.
I was a longtime reader of yours. I'll have to follow again because you're not coming up in my RSS feed.
Yeah, I moved where it was and I rebuilt the site.
Ah.
Errol, what's the website?
Oh, myneighborerrol.com. American spelling.
Okay, myneighborerrol.com. I'll have that in the show notes. Manda, I'll have a link to your blog in the show notes. And I've read your travel logs, the writing. Amanda's very funny. So you guys should definitely check it out.
Big agree. I read all of your travel stuff.
Oh, yay.
Always have, always will.
I like writing them, but yeah, writing on jet lag is an adventure for sure.
Manda, Errol, thank you both for joining us. I have been so inspired by the stuff that you have done over the years, and I have learned so much about being a content creator from the two of you. I have always had this incredible admiration for the way that you both are so good at being upset about things that you don't like and still coming across as good-natured and loving and caring while you do that. I don't think that either of you appreciate fully how artfully you do that and how wonderful it is. It's really special. I also have to say, Errol, I always held your creative abilities in high regard, but it wasn't until you started doing the Cryptex Hunt and seeing just the full extent of your powers as you extended into these mediums that you had never touched before. You're a freak, and I appreciate the absolute hell out of you. But wow, man, just truly impressive. And both of you have been such joys to collaborate with over the years for RECON Talks. Just so easy to work with. I adore every opportunity I have to make anything big or small with the both of you. And thanks for joining us and making this podcast with us.
Likewise to you.
Thank you so much, David.
Yes, thank you.
This episode of Reality Escape Pod is produced by Teresa Piazza with support by Lisa Spira and the Room Escape Artist Patreon community. We're edited by Steve Ewing of Stand Inside Media, music by Ryan Elder, logo by Janine Proct, and all of this is brought to you by RoomEscapeArtist.com, your home for well-researched, rational, and reasonably humorous escape room and immersive gaming content and events. Thank you to all of our highest tier Patreon supporters. Derek Tam, Breakout Games, Escaparium, Pat Tupin of Olivier Escape, The Ministry of Peculiarities, Chris Laughlin, Jeremiah Sizemore, Rex Miller, Mark at Keystone Escape Games, Byron Delmonico, Karen, Mystery Unfolds, and Andy Mincer. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. We truly appreciate you all. If you've listened to the end and you love what we're doing, or even just like it, please go over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts and give us a 5-star rating. And if you got a little bit more time, just write a little review. Say something nice. These reviews go so far in terms of giving us leverage to attract more guests. It's the kind of thing that allows us to show that this podcast is real and that it's worth visiting. Your reviews matter, not just to the algorithms, but to the guests who look at them before they say yes.
I would like to go back to that Up the Game that I was talking about earlier, that European conference I went to, because David was also there, and I had known David online for the most part at that point, and we both did a little thing called the prison escape game. We had like a good 40 minutes of ramp up to this, and there was like 100 of us sitting in this room waiting to go into the cells, and I'm sitting there being like, oh God, who's gonna be my cellmate? Who am I gonna get paired with? And I don't know what we're gonna do at that point. And then they like lead me away, and I go into this cell, and there's David standing there, and I was like,
my cellmate.
Of the 100 people I could have been paired up with, there was David. And then we both proceeded to just scour the room. And he was watching me, very good-natured, look at the walls of this cell and being like, it says Robert here and it says Robert over there. What do we think this means? Then David's just like, I think it means that whoever Robert was wrote his name on this wall when he was incarcerated here. And, and it was true. Nothing in the cell had anything to do with anything. It was just...
Yeah, that's right, Manda. We did time together. We served hard minutes together.
And then I thought, okay, David's going to be my partner in this. And then we didn't see each other for like the rest of the experience. We basically went to two entirely different storylines. He watched me there was like a wooden spoon, and I thought I would have to hide it. So I like put it in my shoe, because I was like, this is contraband. And then ended up being like not a factor at all either. I went down to the kitchens, and they were like, do you have the spoon? I'm like, I do, but do you need... And then they're like watching me take off my shoe, and they're like looking at me like, what are you doing?
I thought the story was going to go horribly awry for a second.
Yeah.
Fun fact, we have Rick Stoppelbrook, the creator of Prison Escape, coming on this season. I don't know if that episode will be before or after this.
That'll
but
be
yeah,
funny. Okay, that's awesome.